Please subscribe to our channel, Pacific Front Untold, and be sure to leave a comment after watching a video.
Following the 18th century, China was a desired trading partner for Western countries. The grandfather of Franklin Delano Roosevelt, Warren Delano, amassed enormous wealth by selling opium in Canton in the early 1800s. However, like many other Americans, Delano portrayed China as a pitiful, drug-addicted, backward pagan mess of a place that should be Christianized and civilized by American values. This idea of saving and changing China into a westernized country continued in the 20th century. In the 1930s, the China Lobby was established. It encompassed a particular group of people who shared a similar interest in overthrowing communism in China. It was typically referred to as an offshoot of Roosevelt's unconventional diplomacy to support China in fighting Japan. The core members of the China Lobby included H.R. Luce, Congressman Walter H. Judd, Senator William F. Noland, diplomat William C. Bullitt, aviator Claire L. Chennault, businessman Alfred Kohlberg, and lawyer William J. Goodwin. We will investigate how the China Lobby has greatly impacted the U.S.-China relationship before and after the founding of the People's Republic of China. Beginning in the 1930s, the existence of the China Lobby offered massive support and aid to Chiang Kai-Shek and the Kuomintang regime, also known as the Nationalists. Initially, since they didn't want to provoke any conflicts with Japan, the State Department maintained a neutral stance toward the Sino-Japanese confrontation. However, pro-Chinese officials and the Treasury Department had pressured the State Department to support China. Meanwhile, wealthy nationalist Chinese officials such as T.V. Soong collaborated with right-wing U.S. officials to establish an organization named China Defense Supplies to support China with money. As a relentless lobbyist, Soong was instrumental in procuring aid when China was in severe need of it. In James Bradley's book, China Mirage, he states that Soong assured Morgenthau and FDR that such a large surge of valuable commodities would stimulate China's milling sector, strengthening Chiang in his fight against the Japanese. So Roosevelt approved the $50 million loan from his best American friend to his best Chinese friend. The American government sought to fund China to fight against Japan by providing China with $50 million and claimed that China was the best friend of the U.S. It was conceivable that T.V. Soong successfully achieved a great amount of financial aid from the U.S. government. Indeed, the China Lobby was regarded as unconventional in manner and diplomacy. It propagated its arguments among the public and persuaded most Americans that they had special responsibilities towards China's development. When the attack on Pearl Harbor happened, as Warren Delano viewed China, many Americans believed they needed to support China to fight back against the Japanese and spread American ideals. For example, H.R. Luce, another fascinating China Lobby affiliate, firmly believed that China was a prime target for U.S. assistance, whether as a model of political and economic progress, religious faith, or diplomatic and military backing. Thus, he made Chiang Kai-Shek the cover story of Time magazine a record of 10 times. The involvement of Henry Luce in pushing the China Lobby's goals through his media channels was critical to the China Lobby's success. In 1949, the Chinese Communist Party triumphed in the Chinese Civil War. To many U.S. officials, the victory of Communist China was unexpected. The fall of Chiang's regime and the failure to establish democracy filled them with dread. Indeed, the closer relationship between Beijing and Moscow alarmed Washington. In response to public concern regarding the victory of Chinese Communist troops, President Truman released the China White Paper, clarifying that the U.S. had no responsibility for the failure of Chiang's regime. However, the China lobby accused the U.S. of abandoning Chiang Kai-Shek, their ally during the war. Furthermore, the China lobby influenced public opinion by establishing committees such as the American-China Policy Association and the China Emergency Committee. The American-China Policy Association released enormous amounts of literature in the form of letters, pamphlets, brochures, and reprints of communist directives. Undoubtedly, all committees put effort into advocating Chiang's regime and contributed to anti-communist policies. Blackwell writes that as the anti-communist climate grew in the U.S. during the decade of the 1950s, the tendency for the press to accept the viewpoint of the China lobby also expanded. By the mid-1950s, the prevalence of the China lobby influenced bias in the press and was nearly universal. After Chiang's defeat, the China lobby members began to attack U.S. foreign policy by claiming that China specialists had indicated a lack of faith in Chiang, trust in the communists' inevitable triumph, and so had contributed to Mao Zedong's success. This claim helped the China lobby to make an effective argument for its attack on U.S. foreign policy, in the context of the increasing anti-communist climate in the United States. Accusations of communist sympathies and the usage of communist sources were thus used early on to discredit China scholars who were not pro-Chiang. In conclusion, the China lobby had a critical role in impacting U.S.-China relationship during and after World War II. In this regard, lobby members achieved a mixed result, gaining support for Chiang Kai-Shek during World War II and attacking Mao Zedong's Communist Party. Even though the China lobby eventually failed to bring Chiang Kai-Shek and the nationalist government back to power in China, it did have a long-term effect on American public opinions towards China.